Hello everyone, I'm Dr. Monica C Singh. In this session, I'll tell you my story of scoring a perfect 9 in IELTS reading, and that too in the first attempt. So this is how my story unfolds. Being an avid reader coming from academics background, I was very sure that IELTS reading would be very easy and would be like a cakewalk for me. So without any formal preparation, I started attempting the practice tests. But I was surprised to see the result. Most of my answers were going wrong, and sometimes I was not able to complete the tests in the given time duration. Yes, I would agree that being an avid reader and coming from these kind of backgrounds like academics and all, which give you a lot of exposure to reading, give you an edge. But that is just not enough, because I failed miserably. So I started thinking, what is it that IELTS reading is testing? What is it aimed at? A thorough research revealed that IELTS is all about finding, number one, and understanding, number two. Finding implies locating that part of the text which contains the answer and how quickly you are able to do it. The second part, understanding, implies whether you are able to comprehend correctly that part of the text. So it is all about finding and understanding quickly, because IELTS, dear friends, is a time test, and as many correct answers you are able to get in that strict time limit, higher is the band score for you. Here is a table which reveals that how many correct answers do you need for a particular score. For example, if you are aiming a score of 6, you need to have 23 correct answers, 7, 30, 8, 35, and so on. So understanding this, I first of all started with analyzing my mistakes and finding out what are those mistakes which I am committing, which I should overcome. So reading a lot of literature available on the net, I figured out that a lot of aspirants do not have enough practice of reading English. Fortunately, this was not the case with me, but this is the most common problem. Secondly, not reading instructions carefully. Instructions tell you that how you should be giving your answer, whether that is one word, whether that is two words, whether that is a combination of word or a number. So you should be reading your instructions very, very carefully. And the third thing is not paying attention to some words in the text. Some words such as sometimes, always, mostly, they change the entire meaning of the sentence. These words change the entire meaning of the sentence. So whatever language is mentioned in the question, you need to see if these words are appearing either in the question or in the passage, and they have to match, right? So be very careful with these words. Now, after realizing my mistakes, I started looking for the format of the test. The format of the test, as I already knew, there are 3 long texts which range from factual, descriptive, analytical, and discursive. As you all know, factual are the ones which mention facts, descriptive describes something, analytical ones are the ones which give you a thorough analysis of a situation or certain things, and discursive texts are ones which talk about a problem and a solution, which compare and contrast information, or which give you certain support points related to an argument. Another important thing which comes with these academic portion of IELTS reading texts is that they are all authentic in nature. By authentic, I mean that they are taken from books, magazines, newspapers, and so on. Now, as there are 3 long tests, we have a time duration of 60 minutes. So ideally, each passage is to be completed in 20 minutes. But the level of difficulty of these texts increases, which means that passage 2 is more difficult in comparison to passage 1, and passage 3 is the most difficult. So this is how I strategized it, since passage 1 is easy. So let me complete it in 15 minutes, passage 2 20 minutes, so that gave me a lot of time. 25 minutes for the third and the most difficult passage. I think you should also do it in this particular fashion and it will help you. The third thing is that there are 40 questions in all, with 13 to 14 appearing in each passage, and each question contains 1 mark. So ideally you should be completing each question in an average of 1.5 minute maximum. If you are able to do it in a lesser amount of time, so that leaves a sufficient amount of time for the most difficult passage. And remember, you are not allowed any extra time for transferring the answer. So here what you should do is that as soon as you complete answering a section, you transfer your answers on the answer sheet. There are 2 benefits. In the end, you might run out of time, and despite giving answers correctly, you are not left with time to transfer your answers on the answer sheet, and thereby it might result into a lower score. And second thing is that in a hurry, you might mark the right answer against a wrong question number. So that again is wrong. Correct? So as soon as you finish with answering a particular section, a particular type of particular question type, let us call it, transfer your answers immediately. So that will lead to accuracy in your answer transferring as well. Now talking about the types of questions that appear in IELTS reading. There are 11 or 12 types of questions which appear in IELTS reading. Some of them frequently appear like yes, no, not given, true, false, not given. Then we have multiple choice question, headings question, paragraph location question, maps, diagrams, flowchart, so on and so forth. But let me tell you that all of these questions fall into either of the 2 categories. Either it is a fill in the blank type of question, or it is a multiple choice type of a question. So whatever question you are attempting, you have to keep in mind that it is either a fill in the blank type of a question or a multiple choice type of a question. Now coming to the most important part of my story. How did I strategize to do this well in my first attempt? So these are certain set of strategies which I used. The very first is skimming. Skimming implies getting the idea of the entire text without reading the entire passage. Scanning, the second strategy, helps you identify specific information in the text quickly. So skimming and scanning, when used, they give you the entire meaning of the text and also help you locate specific information in the passage very, very quickly. Then the third strategy I used was keyword identification, which implies that what are the most important words that I should be looking at in the question. In my later videos, I will tell you about this particular strategy and what are those particular words, the keywords as we call it, which should be looked at. Then this fourth strategy, this is very, very important. Order of attempting questions. See, each passage comes with a set of 2 or 3 types of questions. Now the order in which you attempt is very important. Reason being that some questions are relatively easy and the others are difficult to attempt. So you have to strategize by attempting the easy questions first, and how should you aim for the difficult ones, when to attempt them so that you get them all correct, and that too in the specified time limit quickly. And the last thing is, there are question specific strategies. There is a way to attempt each question. There is a particular method, a strategy to approach each question. So following all these strategies over a period of time, and that too in a very short duration, I was able to score my dream band of 9 in IELTS reading, which was a big high for me. Hope this piece of information helps you in your IELTS reading preparation. Stay tuned for more of such information. Thanks for watching this video.